Hello everybody, Sean Swiss Sweeney here. I hope you can all hear me on the chat. Any of you who are going to be watching popping up, can you just put a thumbs up, guys? Sonny, can you put a thumbs up if you can hear me, buddy? We have been having audio problems and we've been having other problems. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. Simon, yes, thumbs up, brilliant, buddy. You can hear me. That's excelente. Sonny, cheers, buddy. So, SWEENEYTV. This is the Chris Foster interview, internationally known educator, Foz Academy, barber and hair coach, barber and hairdressing coach. Profit profile guy, and an absolute legend within the industry. Absolute honour to have him on as a guest. Got some amazing questions. If it works, it was going to be probably one of our best interviews so far. But like I've said, we've been having technical difficulties. I will reschedule the interview for March with Chris if it doesn't happen. He's just rung me now. He's just said he's reloading his phone. So as you know, guys, that could take a while. Obviously, technology is great when it's used perfectly, but when this happens, it's can be a bit of a nightmare. Chris Foster interview. I'm hoping now that it's all going to be perfect on Chris's side, and we're just waiting for it to come up now.
Can you hear me now?
And we are finally online. Wow, absolute wow.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Thank you, Instagram. Thank you so much. Right, so I'm going to skip over my introduction. Chris Foster. We're going to jump straight into it. Obviously, I've known you for years. I've been following you for a while. I've been to amazing events with you. I've been to your Profit Profile Masterclass, which I thought was absolutely amazing and really helped me with my career. And I just want to just ask. I know your brief introduction already, but I just want to just explain to the SWEENEYTV viewers where it all started for you, Chris, and your introduction, my friend.
Okay, so I started a small barbershop in Tottenham. I left. I think I told you. I don't know if anyone cut out before. I left school and I did some work experience in a barbershop. And there's one particular guy that was really inspiring for me. And I was quite artistic. I am quite artistic. So I loved art. I excelled in art. And back in the 90s, everyone was doing hair patterns, hair tattoos. So it was something that really inspired me. So when I left school, I kind of left school and I suffered with dyslexia, and it didn't allow me to actually express myself with writing, but I knew I wanted to express myself. And at the time, barbering was the avenue that I chose to go down. The area I grew up was a rough area. It's called, it was in Hackney, East London. It was called Murder Mile. So I knew I didn't have very much options. It was either I went into something more constructive, like doing hair, or actually going on the streets and making my living on the road. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go down that road. It wasn't an option for me. So fast forward, working, I call it the Lucas 8 years. You've heard my story before, where I worked dusk till dawn, trying to make a living, realizing that I was capping out, I was maxing out, working from like 9 or 10 in the morning till 12 at night. It was a black barber shop, no appointment system, you just worked. And I was running myself to the ground. I realized I needed to find another way of making it. And that really led me to start building a profile. I went and decided to qualify as a hairdresser, get a qualification. And back then you had to do hairdressing as it was like a tagged on unit to hairdressing. So I had to do a whole of the hairdressing thing to be qualified barber. Now it's different, of course. But back then I had to get qualified as a hairdresser. So that's what I did. I qualified as a hairdresser. And then I went into this, I thought, okay, where's the next best place for me to go? I tried to work in London, in the West End, and that didn't quite work. I went for an interview. I took my missus back then, now my wife, but now my girlfriend, took her to get a haircut in this Japanese place called Kappa in Mayfair. I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. The guy said, no, you're not ready. Go. And then fast forward a couple of years, worked in Selfridges, and then I worked in Mayfair as a head barber for German's Tonic. And then I walked past his shop and says, that's the guy that told me no. Look at me now.
Yeah.
I was, so listen, fast forward a few years, doing shows, work Fashion Week. I was creative director for the largest menswear show ever for a designer called Ozzo Boateng. Just come fresh off Fashion Week in Paris and Milan. I'm booked to do a gig in LA for another big fashion brand. I can't talk too much about that. It's a top secret gig. Most of the stuff I'm doing now is kind of top secret until a couple of months later. I just did something with a rapper called Gucci Mane. I did his hair in last summer. Wow. But I can talk about that gig because he was a face. He was a part of the campaign for Gucci. So yeah, when I started out, I couldn't imagine where I am now. From where I started out to being able to get booked internationally, clients flying around the world. It was never what I thought I could imagine hairdressing or barbering to be. Excuse me, but I knew I wanted that.
Yeah. Well, Chris, again, following on for that, obviously there's a question which somebody really wants to know about. 80s and 90s barbering, it was so influential in our industry and sort of elevating things up. Could you sort of elaborate on what your feelings were with the sort of, being a 90s barber, coming into the early 2000s, watching barbering sort of, evolve into the monster that it's evolved into now, really?
Well, I'll tell you my journey. So the reason why I stuck, so I did the hairdressing thing, and I saw all of the people who were big in the game as hairdressers. So the Nicky Clarks, the Trevor Sorbys, everyone, and even Errol Douglas. So I sat in a hairdressing college and I watched all the videos of these really influential hairdressers flying around the world. They were doing the most amazing things. And I thought to make it, I had to be a hairdresser. So I decided to not go down the route of hairdressing because I realized I had barbering. There was no one really pushing barbering forward. So in 97, I was invited. I was asked. I used to do hair design work for Wall. I was one of the very first guys. A guy called Alvin Biggs got me on the stage for doing Afro Hair and Beauty in the 90s, working at the Afro shows. He then asked me to go and work on the Wall stage. This is 97, right? Which is way before barbering was big. This is back when clippers are using hairdressing to show how you can texturize hairdressing techniques with clippers. So they didn't even think barbering back then, right? It wasn't such a massive thing. So I went on stage and I started to do pattern work, and people were just blown away. So this is obviously a kind of a very see, barbering back then was a second cousin to hairdressing, absolute second cousin. So coming onto Salon International and showing these techniques was mind-blowing for the audience. So I remembered, and it wasn't even in Excel at this time, it was in Wembley. This is how far back that went, right? In Wembley, and this is when barbering it didn't even figure. But I thought, so by doing that, I thought to myself, what if I was to push the envelope? What if I put out to the world, I put out to the universe that I wanted to change the perception of barbering for the hairdressing community? So my whole focus for many, many, many years was how can I make the hairdressing industry wake up and see that barbering isn't this kind of second cousin. Fast forward now, being, my career, I've been really pushing the whole aspect of presenting barbering in a completely different light. And this is what I've done personally. This is my own mission. But I think now it's the monster it is now. I've switched my mission because I don't think my mission back then was to do that. It's switched now. It is a monster. But now my refocus now for me is how can I make the industry of barbering open their eyes and realize the potential that's out there. I recently wrote an article for a Netherlands magazine, the €1,000 haircut. And literally, it is possible. It is possible. I have done it. I've charged £1,000. It wasn't euros, but they had tried in euros. I've charged £1,000 for a haircut. I've had clients fly me to Bali and my family to do a haircut. So I did a haircut. I said, you know what, bring your family with you. I'm telling you, what I'm saying is why I'm not bragging. All I'm saying is these opportunities are available for those people who play the game at the highest level. But they are for those people who are focused on, it's a different focus. It's not focused on sharing, just doing a barbering one-to-one. It's how you represent yourself, how you profile yourself. And I've realized that what changed the game for me, and trust me, I've been in my driveway, right? I'm thinking, how am I going to make ends meet? Many, many, many times. Everyone gets in this industry thinking, no, they're going to make a lot of money. And even people at the top of the game, they're still thinking, how am I going to make money? Okay? I have been looking and thinking to myself, the kids are getting leftovers again. My missus is still struggling. What the hell's going on? And I know many barbers are going through this thing. I know many barbers are just cracking their head against the pressure of cutting hair, knowing that they've got the bills, and if they don't cut hair, if you're sick, you ain't getting any money. Now, for me, I've been through that. I've been through the point where my body is physically breaking down because I have to think, I have to earn money from the chair. Now, what I do now, I teach people that you don't have to do that.
Can I just say one thing which you taught me? Don't work harder, work smarter.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everyone...
That's what you taught me.
It's a very cliched thing, I know, but it is true.
Yeah, of course.
But this is it. I mean, again, how do you profile yourself? How do you get to the point where you can work smarter? And this is what I've just focused on now, is I've been through there, and I think, if anything, if I can mentor my industry in some way, if I can create programs to help people, I've just if there's anything I can do, I would like to be the person to. That's why I call myself the profile guy. Let me stop talking. I love to talk.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, I was just about to get on to your masterclass profile, which you do. Sorry if I put them two together, and I know they're sort of split up. But you've just put your 2.0 out now, and I know you've got your photography course. Should we just have a little chat about that?
So I've have a course called the One Program, and I thought to myself, when I started out, I wish there was somebody mentoring me, helping me to figure this stuff out, because many times in this wonderful career, I thought, I'm going to jack it all in. I've had enough. I've had enough. And I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had someone to help me say, listen, this is how you do stuff. And in this industry, to be honest, you think, okay, if I work for a big brand, they're going to help me get to the next level. That's not going to happen. If you think you're going to go from barbershop to barbershop or hairdresser to hairdresser, think someone's going to show you the way forward, they ain't going to do that. Our industry is set up for you to work behind the chair and not think of your opportunities beyond the chair. Okay? No one's going to help you. This is the game, all right? This is me being real. The industry, when I opened up magazines, I'm reading about articles about how to get more, not how to get more clients, how to get better cutting hair. I don't want to learn how to get better cutting hair. I want to learn how to make it. I want to learn how I could take my family to abroad and really have a good time. I want to learn how I can speak better on stage. I want to learn how I can, create a legacy. All right? So this is the reasons why I said, nah, this is just ridiculous. So I created a program called the One Program, based upon my career, and said, listen, I've broken down all of the things that I had to do. So one, I had to learn how to write a good biography. Number two, I had to learn how to have a consistent message. And most people don't have a strong enough message. That's why they're not getting the opportunities where they are at the moment. or they don't understand how to present their message out to the world. Okay, that's number two. They might not have the right resources, like a website. I built a website for Paul Davro Barbers.
Yeah, I seen it.
He wanted a website. I said, dude, somebody let him down. I thought, I just build this thing. I did it, and I just here is the website. Because you just need to get it done. And most people just say, oh, I'm not sure what to do, not sure what to do. If you don't know what to do, give me a call, and I'll talk to you, all right? I'll talk to anyone out there in the industry just banging their head against the wall. Because trust me, I used to think that if I work for big brands, they're going to help me. If I no one's out helping everyone thinks that, they're going to leapfrog other people. But me personally, I have done so much in my industry, in the career I'm in, that I don't feel threatened. So I feel that I'm best placed to help people. All right? I don't enter competition anymore. Now I tell people how to win competitions because I judge competitions. So, recently I got a call from, there's a guy from Lions Barber Collective. The other guy, I can't remember. Tom says, help me win some competitions. I said, dude, let's do this. Let's smash your competitions this year. Anyone call me up, I'm there to help them. So that's what I do now. And so my programs, like my exposure program, again, looks at photography. It's an online program primarily, but you can do a live day with myself and Andy Kruzek. And we do
I'm very interested in that.
Oh, listen, all right, I'll talk about it.
Yes.
So I teach you, in that program, I teach people how to style the collections. I teach you how to create a mood board, how to translate that to your photographer, how to translate it to your makeup artist.
One second, Chris. What's for the people who are watching, what's a mood board?
Right, okay. It's a document which it helps you to put your creative vision in a document that allows other people to access what's in your brain, what's in your mind, what's your creative vision, so they can work together to help you get the results you're looking for. Okay?
Right.
It's almost like a briefing document.
Okay.
So working with photographers, working with stylists, I teach what big brands, let's say Tony and Guy, you get to learn this in Tony and Guy. Barbershops are not Tony and Guy. They're just one-man bands, but they need the exact same help like a Tony and Guy team does. You get my drift?
Yeah.
And I found that was missing in the industry, and we all need help. So this is why I created Exposure. So Exposure happens twice a year, where I take some hairdressers, barbers, and we do a day shoot. And that collection, again, Paul, even Rob, he got front cover of a magazine. He got his collections internationally in, I think it was Barber Society Live, and also front cover for
Spanish Barberia.
That's right, and in the Council magazine. That was on an exposure shoot. So he learned, how to put the shoot together, and I worked with him, mentored him to get that collection in the magazines, front covers, all that good stuff. This is the stuff that I think we all need now. Not how to frigging cut hair better. How to keep it behind the chair is not going to create legacy for any barber or any hairdresser. It's not. I'm sorry. There's too many of us at the moment. It's bloody hard to make money. Okay?
Rob just dropped it in there with 7 magazines.
7, flipping 8.
7,
crushed
wow.
It. He actually
Smashed
crushed it.
I know.
He crushed
Brilliant.
it.
Brilliant to see, Chris.
But Rob came to me. He came down to the same seminar, and he says, why should I do this? Should I not do it? And he and ahed. And you know what? I think everybody needs to see that side of the industry. If you don't, you just never know what you could achieve. You're going to get older. Your clientele's going to get older. We are all getting older. If you don't create the legacy now, you have nothing to show your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Simple as, right? And, having a couple of pictures on Instagram isn't enough nowadays. It isn't. If you want international recognition, you're going to need to have professional images. You're going to need someone to guide you and help you get those as cheaply as possible, as effectively as possible. I've lost a lot of money on shoots. I spent thousands and thousands of pounds. But even in this program, I teach you how to get the sponsorship to do the shoots as well.
Yes, Chris. So that's brilliant, because like with me, this is one thing which I struggle with is I don't really know how to use a camera. I don't really know the angles I'm looking for. I'm trying to create my own iconic look, but without any experience and any guidance, it's a bit of a struggle. So even myself with